The rain hammered against the city streets like bullets from heaven as Destiny Johnson stumbled through the darkness, her worn sneakers splashing through puddles that seemed to appear from nowhere. Her uniform was soaked through, clinging to her exhausted body after pulling a 16-hour double shift at the diner. The phone in her hand showed 3% battery and a text that made her stomach drop. Mom collapsed again. Hospital. Come now. She spotted the black car idling by the curb, exactly where her rideshare app said it would be. Without thinking, she yanked open the door and threw herself inside, gasping for breath. Thank God you're here. I need to get to Metro General Hospital right. The words died in her throat. This wasn't her rideshare driver. The interior was pure luxury. Cream leather seats that probably cost more than she made in 6 months. A small bar built into the side panel. Soft lighting that made everything glow like something from a movie. And sitting across from her, in a perfectly tailored black suit that screamed money, was a man who definitely was not her driver. He was handsome in that polished way that came with wealth. Dark hairstyle just right. Green eyes that seemed to see everything. But right now, those eyes were wide with surprise, and his mouth was slightly open as if he couldn't believe what just happened. Destiny's heart started racing. This was bad. Really bad. Oh no, oh no, oh no, she whispered, her hand moving toward the door handle. I'm so sorry, I thought you were my ride, I'll just... Wait. His voice was calm, surprisingly gentle. You're soaked. It's pouring out there. She looked down at herself. Water was literally dripping from her hair onto the expensive leather. She was ruining this man's car and he was worried about her getting wet. I called a rideshare, she stammered, fumbling with her phone. Black sedan license plate. Oh. Her phone screen went dark. Dead battery. Perfect. The man leaned forward slightly and Destiny tensed. This was it. This was how horror stories started. Beautiful girl gets in wrong car, disappears forever. Her mother would never know what happened to her. But instead of grabbing her or locking the doors, he simply asked, "Where do you need to go?" "The hospital," she said quickly. "Metro General. My mom." Her voice cracked. "She's sick and I need to see her, but my phone is dead and I don't have money for a cab and..." "Thomas?" the man said to someone Destiny couldn't see. She realized there was a driver in the front seat, separated by a partition. "Metro General Hospital, please. Emergency entrance." The car started moving. "What are you doing?" Destiny asked, panic rising in her chest. "Taking you to see your mother," he said simply. "But you don't even know me. I just broke into your car." "You didn't break in. You got in. There's a difference." He reached into a small compartment and pulled out a towel. "Here. You're shivering." Destiny stared at the towel like it might bite her. In her world, nothing came free. Everything had a price, and usually it was higher than you could afford to pay. "I can't pay you," she said. "I didn't ask you to. But why would you help me?" He was quiet for a moment, looking out at the rain streaking down the windows. Sometimes people need help. Sometimes other people are in a position to give it. That's all. Destiny took the towel. It was impossibly soft, probably worth more than her entire outfit. She pressed it to her face and breathed in the clean scent. "What's your name?" the man asked. "Destiny. Destiny Johnson." "I'm Gabriel. Gabriel Morrison." The name sounded familiar, but she couldn't place it. Probably someone she'd served at the diner and forgotten. Rich people all looked the same after a while. "Thank you, Mr. Morrison." "Really? I don't know how to repay." "You don't need to repay anything." The car was warm and quiet except for the sound of rain on the roof. For the first time in hours, Destiny felt her muscles start to relax. When was the last time she'd sat in a comfortable seat? When was the last time someone had shown her kindness without expecting something in return? "How long has your mother been sick?" Gabriel asked. 3 years. Heart problems. She needs surgery but... Destiny stopped. Why was she telling this stranger her life story? "But... insurance doesn't cover everything. We're working on it." Gabriel nodded like he understood, though how could he? In his expensive suit, in his expensive car, what could he possibly know about choosing between rent and medicine? Through the partition, she heard the driver speak. "Metro General, sir." Destiny looked out the window and saw the familiar hospital entrance. A place she knew too well. A place that meant worry and fear and bills she couldn't pay. "Thank you," she said again, reaching for the door handle. "I really appreciate this." "Destiny." She turned back. "I hope your mother is okay." There was something in his voice, something that sounded like he really meant it. Like he actually cared about a stranger's sick mother. "Thank you," she whispered and stepped out into the rain. As the car pulled away, she stood under the hospital's bright lights, watching the taillights disappear into the storm. She didn't even know his last name, but Gabriel Morrison had just given her exactly what she needed most: hope that kindness still existed in the world. She had no idea that this moment would change everything. Have you ever had a stranger show you unexpected kindness when you needed it most? Stories like these remind us that good people still exist in this world. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and share your own experiences in the comments. Sometimes we all need to believe in human goodness. 20 minutes later, Destiny sat beside her mother's hospital bed, holding Beverly Johnson's hand as machines beeped steadily in the background. Her mother looked so small under the white sheets, her dark skin ashen, her breathing shallow. "The doctor says her heart is getting worse," Destiny whispered to the woman who had raised her alone after her father died when she was 12. "Mom, I don't know what we're going to do." Beverly squeezed her daughter's hand weakly. "We'll figure it out, baby. We always do." But they both knew they were running out of options. The surgery her mother needed cost more money than Destiny could make in 5 years. She'd already taken on extra shifts, sold everything valuable they owned, and applied for every assistance program that existed. "Miss Johnson?" Destiny turned to see Dr. Patterson standing in the doorway, his expression serious but not hopeless. "Your mother is stable for now, but we need to discuss treatment options. Can you come with me?" Destiny followed him into the hallway, her heart pounding. "She needs the surgery within the next month," Dr. Patterson said gently. "Without it, how much?" Destiny asked, though she already knew the answer would crush her. $80,000. Insurance covers about 30%. $56,000. Might as well be $56 million. "Doctor, isn't there some kind of payment plan or—" "Miss Johnson." The familiar voice made her turn around. Gabriel Morrison stood at the end of the hallway, still wearing his expensive suit, holding a cup of coffee. "What are you doing here?" she asked, confusion and fear mixing in her chest. "I wanted to make sure you made it safely." Dr. Patterson looked between them. "Are you family?" "No," Destiny said quickly. He gave me a ride." "I'll leave you two to talk," Dr. Patterson said, walking away. When they were alone, Gabriel stepped closer. "How is she?" Destiny's voice broke. "She needs surgery and we can't afford it and I don't know what to do." She started crying then, the stress of the day finally breaking through her defenses. She was so tired of being strong, so tired of pretending everything would be okay when it clearly wouldn't be. Gabriel handed her his handkerchief. "Real cloth, not paper." "Of course." "I'm sorry," she said, wiping her eyes. "You don't need to hear about my problems. What if I told you there was a way to help?" Destiny looked up at him. "What do you mean?" "I mean, what if someone could pay for the surgery?" "Someone like who?" "Someone like me." The words hung between them like a live wire. Destiny stared at him, trying to process what he'd just said. "You want to pay for my mother's surgery?" she whispered. "Yes. But that's $56,000. "I know. You don't even know us." "I know enough." Destiny shook her head. No, this is crazy. People don't just do things like this. What do you want from me?" Gabriel's expression didn't change. "Nothing. There's always something. Always. Men don't spend that kind of money on women they just met without expecting. I'm not those men." "How do I know that?" Gabriel considered this. "You don't. You'll have to trust me." "Trust you? I don't even know you." "Then get to know me." They stood in the hospital hallway, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, the smell of antiseptic in the air, and Destiny felt like she was standing at the edge of a cliff. She could say no, walk away and watch her mother die slowly. Or she could say yes to this stranger and step into unknown territory. "Why?" she asked. "Why would you do this for us?" Gabriel was quiet for a long moment. "When I was 16, my mother was sick. Really sick. My father was absent. We didn't have money for treatment. A stranger helped us. Someone who didn't have to but did anyway. She lived because of that kindness." "What happened to the stranger?" "I never got to thank him properly. He died before I could repay him." Understanding dawned. "So you want to pay it forward?" "Something like that." Destiny closed her eyes. Every instinct told her this was too good to be true. But what choice did she have? "Okay," she whispered. "Okay." She looked at him directly. "Okay. Yes. If you want to help my mother, I accept." With gratitude. Gabriel smiled then, the first real smile she'd seen from him. "Good. I'll take care of everything." Just like that. Just like that. As he walked away to find Dr. Patterson, Destiny leaned against the wall and wondered if she just made the best decision of her life or the biggest mistake. Either way, her mother was going to live. And sometimes that was enough. 3 days later, Destiny walked into Metro General Hospital feeling like she was living someone else's life. Her mother had been moved to the cardiac wing, where everything was newer, cleaner, and more expensive than the emergency room where they usually ended up. Beverly Johnson was sitting up in bed, color returning to her cheeks, looking more alert than she had in months. "There's my girl," Beverly said, reaching for her daughter's hand. "This place is something else, isn't it?" Destiny looked around the private room with its large window, comfortable chairs, and flat-screen television. "Mom, this must cost a fortune." "That's what I keep telling the nurses, but they say everything's been taken care of." "Destiny, what did you do?" Before Destiny could answer, there was a knock on the door. Gabriel Morrison walked in, carrying a bouquet of flowers and looking slightly nervous. "I hope I'm not intruding," he said. Beverly's eyes went wide. "And who might you be?" "Mom, this is Gabriel Morrison. He's the one who helped." Gabriel approached the bed and held out the flowers. "Mrs. Johnson, it's nice to meet you. Your daughter speaks of you with great love." Beverly accepted the flowers, studying Gabriel carefully. "Mr. Morrison, my daughter tells me you've been very generous to our family." "It's my pleasure, ma'am." "Sit down, young man. We need to talk." Gabriel sat in the chair beside the bed, and Destiny could see he was genuinely nervous about making a good impression on her mother. "Why did you help us?" Beverly asked directly. Gabriel glanced at Destiny, then back at her mother. "Someone helped my family when we needed it most. I learned early that kindness should be passed along." "And you expect nothing in return?" "Only that your daughter accepts the help gracefully, which she has." Beverly nodded slowly. "Dr. Patterson tells me I'm getting the best cardiac surgeon in the state. That doesn't happen by accident. Dr. Martinez is very good. He'll take excellent care of you. This surgery, the recovery, the follow-up care. Do you understand what this means to our family?" Gabriel's voice was quiet but firm. "It means you get to see your daughter graduate college, get married, have children. It means she gets to keep her mother." Tears filled Beverly's eyes. "Thank you. Thank you for giving me more time with her." "You're very welcome." Destiny felt her own eyes welling up. Watching this exchange between the two most important people in her world was almost too much. "Now," Beverly said, dabbing at her eyes with a tissue, "tell me about yourself, Mr. Morrison. What do you do?" "I run a technology company. We develop software for small businesses." "And you're not married?" "Mom," Destiny said, embarrassed. "I have a right to ask about the man who saved my life." Gabriel smiled. "It's okay." "No, Mrs. Johnson, I'm not married. Haven't found the right person yet." Beverly looked meaningfully at her daughter. "Well, you never know what life will bring." Before Destiny could die of embarrassment, Dr. Martinez entered the room. "Mrs. Johnson, how are you feeling today?" "Better than I have in years, doctor." "Excellent. We're scheduled for surgery tomorrow morning. Everything looks very good." After the doctor left, Gabriel stood up. "I should let you rest." "Before you go," Beverly said, "there's something I want to say. Mr. Morrison, you've given me the most precious gift anyone can give, time with my daughter. I don't know how to repay that." "Just get well," Gabriel said. "That's all the payment I need." He turned to Destiny. "Walk me out." In the hallway they walked slowly toward the elevators. "Your mother is lovely," Gabriel said. "She likes you. That doesn't happen often." "I'm honored." They reached the elevators and Gabriel pressed the button. "Destiny, I want to ask you something, and I want you to think about it before you answer." "Okay." "After your mother's surgery, she's going to need time to recover. You won't be able to work double shifts anymore because you'll need to take care of her." "I know. I've been thinking about that. I have a proposition. My company is growing and I need someone I can trust in an administrative role. Good salary, excellent benefits, and flexible hours so you can be with your mother." Destiny stared at him. "You want to give me a job?" "I want to offer you an opportunity. The job is real, the work is meaningful, and you'd be helping small businesses succeed. But more importantly, it would give you financial stability while your mother recovers." The elevator arrived, but neither of them got on. "Gabriel, you've already done so much. I'm not offering this out of charity. I need good people and I think you could be one of them. You work hard, you're dedicated to your family, and you handle difficult situations with grace. Those are exactly the qualities I'm looking for." Destiny felt hope blooming in her chest. A real job. With benefits. With enough money to pay rent and buy groceries without constantly worrying. Yes, she said without hesitation. Yes, I accept. With gratitude. Gabriel smiled. Good. We'll start after your mother is fully recovered. Take all the time you need. As the elevator doors closed and Gabriel disappeared from view, Destiny realized her life was changing in ways she never could have imagined. All because she got in the wrong car on a rainy night. 2 weeks after her mother's successful surgery, Destiny stood in front of Morrison Technologies, a gleaming glass building in the heart of the business district. She wore a new navy blue dress that Gabriel had insisted on buying for her first day, along with matching shoes and a jacket that made her feel professional and confident. The lobby was all marble and chrome with a reception desk that probably cost more than her yearly rent. The woman behind the desk, an elegant Asian woman in her 30s, smiled warmly as Destiny approached. You must be Destiny Johnson, she said, standing up. I'm Rebecca Chong, Mr. Morrison's executive assistant. Welcome to Morrison Technologies. Thank you. I'm a little nervous. Don't be. Gabriel speaks very highly of you. Gabriel. Not Mr. Morrison. Destiny filed that information away. Rebecca led her to the elevator. You'll be working directly with our small business development team. It's meaningful work, helping entrepreneurs get their companies off the ground. They rose to the 15th floor, and the elevator opened onto a bustling office space filled with people who looked young, energetic, and genuinely happy to be at work. Destiny. She turned to see Gabriel walking toward them, looking effortlessly handsome in a charcoal suit and blue tie. How's your mother? He asked immediately. She's doing wonderful. The doctors say her recovery is ahead of schedule. I'm glad to hear it. Ready for your first day? Ready. Gabriel led her to a spacious office with a window view of the city. This is yours. Destiny's mouth fell open. This whole office is mine? Of course. You'll need space to work with clients, review business plans, conduct video conferences. Gabriel, this is too much. I was expecting maybe a desk in a shared space. You're not just any employee, Destiny. You're going to be helping me build something important here. Rebecca appeared in the doorway. The morning briefing is ready when you are. Perfect. Gabriel turned back to Destiny. Ready to learn about your new career? The next 4 hours flew by in a blur of introductions, training sessions, and information that made Destiny's head spin in the best possible way. She learned about Morrison Technologies' mission to provide affordable software solutions to small businesses. She met her team, 6 other people who welcomed her warmly and seemed genuinely excited to have her aboard. By lunchtime, she was feeling more confident and excited than she had in years. Gabriel knocked on her office door. How about lunch? In the cafeteria? I was thinking somewhere a bit nicer for your first day. They went to a restaurant on the top floor of a nearby building, where the view stretched across the entire city. Destiny had never eaten anywhere so elegant, but Gabriel made her feel comfortable, asking about her morning and explaining more about the company's goals. You mentioned helping small businesses, Destiny said over salad that probably cost more than she used to spend on groceries in a week. Why is that important to you? Gabriel was quiet for a moment, looking out at the city below. My father built a small business from nothing. He worked 18-hour days, sacrificed everything to make it successful. But he never had the right tools, the right support. Technology could have made his life so much easier. What happened to the business? He lost it. Bad decisions, bad advice, and no one to help him navigate the challenges. Gabriel's voice was carefully neutral. I don't want that to happen to other families. I'm sorry. It's in the past. But it's why this work matters. After lunch, Gabriel walked her back to the office. Destiny, there's something else I want to discuss with you. What's that? Your apartment. The neighborhood you're in, it's not safe. Especially now that you'll be working later hours. Destiny tensed. Gabriel, I can't ask you to. You're not asking. I'm offering. There's a building about 10 minutes from here, very safe, doorman, security. I own several units there that I use for visiting clients and employees. You could use one while your mother recovers. That's incredibly generous, but think about it from a practical standpoint. You'll be closer to work, your mother will be in a safer environment while she heals, and you won't have to worry about anything except doing your job well. Destiny looked at him. 3 weeks ago, she was working double shifts for barely enough money to survive. Now she had a dream job, her mother was healthy, and this man was offering her a beautiful place to live. Okay, she said. Yes. I accept, with gratitude. Good. We can look at it this weekend if you'd like. That evening, Destiny sat beside her mother's bed in their tiny apartment, telling her about the amazing day she'd had. "Baby, this man has given you a new life," Beverly said. "He's given both of us a new life. What do you think he wants?" "I think," Destiny said slowly, "he wants to be good to people. I think he's exactly who he appears to be." "And how do you feel about him?" Destiny considered this. Gabriel was handsome, kind, successful, and generous. He made her feel safe and valued. But more than that, he made her feel like she deserved good things. "I think I could care about him," she admitted. "A lot." Beverly smiled. "Then let him take care of you, sweetheart. You've been taking care of everyone else for so long. It's time someone took care of you." As Destiny fell asleep that night, she thought about Gabriel's smile, his gentle voice, and the way he made everything seem possible. Maybe fairy tales could come true after all. The apartment was everything Gabriel had promised and more. Located in a luxury building with a doorman, gym, and rooftop garden, the two-bedroom unit overlooked the river and came furnished with elegant, comfortable pieces that made Destiny feel like she was living in a magazine. Beverly had settled in beautifully, spending her days reading in the sunny living room and attending physical therapy sessions that were gradually restoring her strength. Dr. Martinez was amazed by her progress. "I haven't felt this good in years," Beverly told her daughter over breakfast on a Saturday morning 3 weeks later. "And you look happy, baby. Really happy." Destiny was happy. Her job at Morrison Technologies was challenging and rewarding. She'd helped 3 small businesses launch their digital platforms in just her first month, and Gabriel had praised her work publicly in front of the entire team. Her phone buzzed with a text from Gabriel, "Beautiful day for the farmer's market. Interested in some company?" She'd mentioned wanting to visit the downtown farmer's market, and somehow Gabriel had remembered. "Yes, that sounds lovely," she texted back. An hour later, they strolled through rows of vendors selling fresh produce, handmade crafts, and local honey. Gabriel carried their purchases in a canvas bag and seemed to genuinely enjoy the simple pleasure of a Saturday morning market. "Try this," he said, offering her a sample of peach from a local farm stand. The fruit was perfectly sweet and juice ran down her chin. Gabriel handed her a napkin, his fingers brushing hers for just a moment longer than necessary. "Good?" he asked. "Perfect." They bought a bag of peaches, some fresh bread, and flowers for Beverly. "Gabriel," Destiny said as they walked toward his car, "can I ask you something personal?" "Of course. Why aren't you married? I mean, you're successful, handsome, kind. Surely women are interested." Gabriel was quiet for a moment. "I've been focused on building the business. And I suppose I've been waiting for the right person." "What would the right person be like?" He stopped walking and looked at her directly. "Kind. Strong. Someone who's faced challenges and come through them with grace. Someone who puts family first. Someone who makes me want to be better than I am." The way he was looking at her made Destiny's heart race. "That sounds like a wonderful person," she managed to say. "She is." When they returned to the apartment, Gabriel stayed for lunch. Beverly had prepared her famous fried chicken, and Gabriel ate 2 servings while praising her cooking enthusiastically. "Mrs. Johnson, this is the best meal I've had in months," he said. "You're welcome at our table anytime, Gabriel." "I appreciate that. Family dinners are something I miss." "What about your family?" Beverly asked. Gabriel's expression grew somber. "My mother passed away 5 years ago. My father and we don't speak much." "I'm sorry to hear that. It's complicated. Old wounds, you know." After lunch, Gabriel helped clear the dishes despite Beverly's protests, then said he had some work to catch up on. "Thank you for today," Destiny said, walking him to the door. "For everything, really. The job, the apartment, helping my mother. I don't know how to repay you. You already are. You're working hard, you're excellent with our clients, and you're happy. That's all I want." "Is it?" The question hung between them. Gabriel stepped closer, close enough that she could smell his cologne, see the flecks of gold in his green eyes. "No," he said quietly. "It's not all I want. Gabriel, I know this is complicated. I know the circumstances of how we met make things unusual. But Destiny, I care about you. More than I probably should." Her heart was pounding. "I care about you too. Then maybe we could explore that. Carefully. Without any pressure. I'd like that." He smiled and leaned down to kiss her forehead, a gentle gesture that somehow felt more intimate than any kiss she'd ever received. "Good night, Destiny." After he left, she leaned against the closed door, touching the spot where his lips had been. "That man is falling in love with you," Beverly called from the living room. "Mom, you were eavesdropping." These old ears don't miss much. The question is, how do you feel about him? Destiny walked back to the living room and sat beside her mother. I think I'm falling in love with him too. Good. He's a keeper. Does love really work this way? Can a chance encounter really change everything? Have you ever had someone come into your life and make everything better? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more heartwarming stories about love finding a way. 3 months into her new life, Destiny barely recognized herself. She stood in front of the full-length mirror in her bedroom, adjusting the pearl earrings Gabriel had given her for her birthday last week. The black cocktail dress fit perfectly, and her hair was styled in an elegant updo that she'd learned to do herself from YouTube tutorials. Tonight was Morrison Technology's annual charity gala, and Gabriel had asked her to be his date. You look absolutely stunning, sweetheart, Beverly said from the doorway. I feel like I'm playing dress-up in someone else's life. This is your life now. You deserve all of this happiness. A knock at the door interrupted them. Gabriel stood in the hallway wearing a perfectly tailored tuxedo, holding a small corsage box. You look beautiful, he said, his eyes lighting up when he saw her. Thank you. You clean up pretty well yourself. He opened the box to reveal a delicate orchid corsage. May I? As he fastened it to her wrist, his fingers lingered on her skin, sending shivers up her arm. Ready for your first Morrison Technologies gala? He asked. I think so. Though I've never been to anything this fancy. You'll be perfect. You always are. The gala was held in the ballroom of the city's most prestigious hotel. Destiny had seen places like this in movies but never imagined she'd be attending an event here. Crystal chandeliers cast sparkles of light across the room, and every table was decorated with elaborate floral arrangements. Gabriel introduced her to clients, business partners, and community leaders. Everyone was warm and welcoming, and several people mentioned how much they'd heard about her excellent work with small businesses. You're quite the success story, said Margaret Wilson, the president of the Chamber of Commerce. Gabriel tells me you've helped launch over a dozen new businesses in just 3 months. It's rewarding work, Destiny said. Seeing entrepreneurs achieve their dreams is incredibly fulfilling. We should have lunch next week. I'd love to discuss some ideas for expanding our small business support programs. When Margaret walked away, Gabriel leaned close to Destiny's ear. You're a natural at this. I'm just being myself. That's what makes you so good at it. During dinner, Gabriel stood to address the crowd. Thank you all for joining us tonight. As you know, this gala raises money for our scholarship program, which provides technology training to underserved communities. He looked directly at Destiny. This year, I'm particularly proud to announce that we're expanding the program, thanks to the insights and dedication of someone very special. Destiny Johnson has shown me that when you invest in people, when you believe in their potential, incredible things happen. The room erupted in applause, and Destiny felt tears gathering in her eyes. After dinner, Gabriel led her onto the dance floor as the band played a slow song. That was beautiful, she said as they swayed together. It was true. You've changed everything, Destiny. The way I look at the business, the way I think about what's important in life. Gabriel? I have something for you. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small jewelry box. Destiny's breath caught. What is this? It's not what you think, he said quickly. I mean, it's jewelry, but it's not. Open it. Inside was a delicate gold bracelet with a small charm shaped like a key. A key. To my heart, Gabriel said softly. Destiny, I know we said we'd take things slowly, but I can't pretend anymore. I'm in love with you. The words she'd been hoping to hear, dreaming about, finally spoken out loud. I love you too, she whispered. He fastened the bracelet around her wrist, right next to the corsage. This key represents something else too. I want to give you keys to my house. I want you and your mother to move in with me. Gabriel, that's a huge step. I know. And I don't want you to feel pressured. But Destiny, I want to build a life with you. I want to wake up every morning knowing you're there. I want to take care of you the way you've spent your whole life taking care of everyone else. She looked into his eyes and saw nothing but love, sincerity, and hope. Yes, she said. Yes, I'll move in with you. We'll move in with you. He spun her around right there on the dance floor, both of them laughing with joy. Later that evening, as they sat on the terrace of Gabriel's penthouse apartment, looking out over the city lights, Destiny marveled at how much her life had changed. Are you happy? Gabriel asked, his arm around her shoulders. Happier than I ever thought possible. Good. Because this is just the beginning. The beginning of what? Our life together. Our future. Everything we're going to build. As they sat together under the stars, Destiny knew that whatever the future held, they would face it together. She had found her home in Gabriel's arms, and he had found his purpose in loving her. Sometimes the wrong door leads you to exactly where you need to be. 6 months later, life in Gabriel's penthouse had settled into a comfortable rhythm. Beverly had her own wing of the apartment with a private sitting room where she hosted her book club and tended to her small garden on the balcony. She was healthier and happier than she'd been in years, and she adored Gabriel like the son she'd never had. Destiny had been promoted to Director of Small Business Development, and her work was getting recognition throughout the city. The morning news had even done a feature story about her innovative approach to helping entrepreneurs succeed. But tonight, as she sat in Gabriel's home office helping him review proposals for the scholarship program expansion, she noticed he seemed distracted. "Everything okay?" she asked, looking up from her laptop. "Actually, there's something I want to discuss with you." "What's that?" Gabriel closed his laptop and turned to face her. "The scholarship program has been so successful that the city council wants to expand it statewide. They've offered me a contract to develop a comprehensive small business support network across the entire state." "Gabriel, that's incredible. You must be thrilled." "I am. But there's a catch. It would require a significant time investment. Travel, meetings, probably 18-hour days for the next year." "Okay. We can handle that. Can we?" "Destiny, I don't want to neglect our relationship. I don't want you to feel like work is more important to me than you are." She reached across the desk and took his hand. "Gabriel, this is your dream. This is what you've been working toward your entire career. I'm not going to let you pass up the opportunity of a lifetime. It might mean less time together. It might mean more time apart temporarily, but it also means you're going to help thousands of families build better lives. How could I not support that?" Gabriel brought her hand to his lips and kissed her palm. "How did I get so lucky? I ask myself the same question every day." 2 weeks later, Gabriel officially accepted the state contract, and Destiny threw him a celebration dinner with Beverly, Rebecca, and the core team from Morrison Technologies. To Gabriel, Destiny raised her glass of champagne, who proves every day that success isn't just about making money. It's about making a difference. To all of us, Gabriel corrected, because none of this would be possible without the best team in the business. As the evening wound down and their guests headed home, Gabriel and Destiny walked out onto the terrace. The city spread out below them, lights twinkling like stars. "I have something for you," Gabriel said. "Gabriel, you've already given me everything I could ever want." "Not everything." He handed her a small wrapped package. Inside was a set of keys. "More keys?" she asked, smiling. "Keys to the lake house. I thought we might need a place to escape to on weekends, somewhere quiet where we can just be together." "You bought a lake house?" "I bought us a lake house. A place where your mother can sit by the water and read, where we can have barbecues with friends, where maybe someday—" He paused. "Someday what?" "Someday we might watch our children play in the yard." Destiny's heart stopped. "Our children? I know we haven't talked about marriage yet, but Destiny, I can't imagine a future that doesn't include you. I can't imagine having children with anyone else, growing old with anyone else." "Are you asking me to marry you?" "Not yet. But I'm telling you that I want to. When the time is right, when you're ready, I want to spend the rest of my life making you happy." She stood on her tiptoes and kissed him softly. "I want that too." They spent the following weekend at the lake house, a charming cottage with a dock and a view of the water that took Destiny's breath away. Beverly sat in a rocking chair on the porch, reading and watching the boats go by, looking more peaceful than Destiny had ever seen her. "This is perfect," Destiny told Gabriel as they walked along the shore after dinner. "You haven't seen the best part yet." He led her to a small boathouse at the end of the dock. Inside was a vintage boat that had been lovingly restored. "She's called New Beginnings," Gabriel said. "I thought it was appropriate." "Gabriel, I don't know how to sail." "I'll teach you. We have all the time in the world." As they sat on the dock with their feet dangling in the water, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of pink and gold, Destiny felt a contentment she'd never known was possible. "Thank you," she said quietly. "For what?" "For choosing to love me. For seeing something in me that I didn't even see in myself. Destiny, you saved my life just as much as I saved yours." "How do you figure that?" Gabriel was quiet for a moment, watching a family of ducks swim by. "Before I met you, I was successful but empty. I had money and recognition, but I didn't have purpose. You showed me what really matters. Well, family. Using your gifts to lift other people up. I think we saved each other." I think you're right. That night, as they lay in bed listening to the gentle sounds of water lapping against the dock, Gabriel traced patterns on Destiny's arm. What are you thinking about? She asked. The future. Our future. All the possibilities. What do you see? I see us growing old together in this house. I see children learning to swim in this lake. I see us celebrating 50 years of marriage on this dock. That sounds perfect. But even as she said it, Destiny felt a tiny flutter of worry in her chest. Life had taught her that happiness this perfect always came with a price. She pushed the feeling away and focused on Gabriel's steady breathing, his warm arms around her, the sound of water against the shore. Some things were too beautiful to doubt. A year later, Morrison Technologies had become the most successful small business development company in the state. Gabriel's program was being studied by other states as a model for economic development, and Destiny had been featured in Forbes magazine as one of the top young business leaders in the country. But the success hadn't changed them. They still had quiet dinners with Beverly, still spent weekends at the lake house, still laughed together over silly movies and take-out Chinese food. On a crisp October morning, Gabriel knocked on Destiny's office door with an unusual expression on his face. Do you have a minute? He asked. Of course. What's up? There's something I need to show you. Can you come with me? They drove across town to a neighborhood Destiny didn't recognize, filled with beautiful historic homes and tree-lined streets. Where are we going? She asked. You'll see. Gabriel pulled up in front of a stunning Victorian house with a wraparound porch, stained glass windows, and a garden that looked like something from a fairy tale. It's beautiful, Destiny said. Whose house is this? Yours. If you want it. Destiny turned to stare at him. What do you mean mine? I mean I bought it for you. For us. For your mother. As an early wedding present. Wedding present? Gabriel, we're not even engaged. He got out of the car and came around to her side, opening her door and helping her out. Then, right there on the sidewalk in front of the most beautiful house she'd ever seen, Gabriel Morrison dropped to one knee and pulled out a ring box. Destiny Johnson, you came into my life on the worst possible night and made it the best possible night. You've made me a better man, a better businessman, and a better human being. You've shown me what love really means. Destiny's hands flew to her mouth as tears started streaming down her face. Will you marry me? Gabriel asked. Will you let me spend the rest of my life making you as happy as you've made me? The ring was perfect. A classic solitaire that caught the morning light and threw rainbows across her fingers. Yes, she whispered. Yes, yes, yes. Gabriel slipped the ring onto her finger and stood up to kiss her as a small crowd of passers-by broke into applause. There's more, he said, leading her up the front steps. Inside, the house was even more beautiful. Hardwood floors, original fixtures, and rooms filled with natural light. But what took Destiny's breath away was seeing Beverly sitting in the living room with Rebecca and several other friends, all grinning and holding glasses of champagne. Surprise, they called out. You planned all this? Destiny asked Gabriel. I had help, he said, nodding toward Beverly. Your mother has very strong opinions about decorating. Beverly stood up and hugged her daughter tightly. I'm so happy for you, baby. Mom, did you know? Sweetheart, I helped him pick out the ring. And I may have mentioned that you always dreamed of living in a house with a front porch and a garden. This is too much, Destiny said, looking around at the perfect house filled with people she loved. It's not too much, Gabriel said. It's exactly right. Destiny, I want to give you everything you've ever dreamed of. The house, the wedding of your dreams, the honeymoon, anywhere in the world you want to go. What about the business? The state contract. I'm bringing on a partner to help manage the expansion. Someone very qualified who happens to be standing right in front of me. What do you mean? Gabriel smiled. I mean, how do you feel about being co-owner of Morrison Technologies? Full partner, equal say in all decisions, your name on the door. Destiny felt dizzy. Gabriel, you can't just give me half your company. I'm not giving it to you. I'm sharing it with you. You've earned it. The business is successful because of your vision, your hard work, your connection with our clients. It should be ours, not mine. Johnson Morrison Technologies, Rebecca said, raising her champagne glass. Has a nice ring to it. Or Morrison Johnson, Gabriel said. Whatever you prefer. Destiny looked around the room at all the faces smiling back at her. Beverly, glowing with health and happiness. Rebecca, who had become like a sister to her. Gabriel, the man who had changed her entire world with one act of kindness. I accept, she said. All of it. The proposal, the house, the partnership. Everything. With more gratitude than I can express. Good, Gabriel said, pulling her close. Because I have one more surprise. There's more? He handed her an envelope. Inside was a business proposal for a nonprofit organization focused on helping women entrepreneurs, with Destiny listed as the executive director. Your own foundation, Gabriel said. To help women who are where you were 2 years ago. Women who just need someone to believe in them. Destiny couldn't speak. She could only nod through her tears as Gabriel held her close. I love you, she finally managed to say. I love you too. More than I ever thought possible. As their friends and family celebrated around them in their new home, Destiny realized that sometimes dreams come true in ways you never could have imagined. Sometimes getting lost leads you exactly where you were meant to be. 6 months before their wedding, Destiny was helping Gabriel organize his home office when she came across an old photo album tucked behind some files in his desk drawer. What's this? She asked, pulling it out. Gabriel looked up from the papers he was sorting and froze. Just old family photos. Nothing important. But something in his voice made her curious. She opened the album, expecting to see pictures of Gabriel as a child, maybe his parents. Instead, she found herself staring at photos of her own family. Her father in his army uniform. Her parents' wedding day. Baby pictures of herself. Her family's old house before they'd moved to the apartment after her father died. Gabriel, she said quietly, her heart starting to race. Why do you have pictures of my family? Gabriel went very still. Destiny? Why do you have a photo of my father? She flipped through more pages. There were newspaper clippings about her father's death. Articles about the drunk driving accident that had killed him when she was 12. And there, in one of the clippings, was a name that made her blood turn to ice. Jonathan Morrison. The drunk driver who had killed her father. Gabriel's last name. No, she whispered, looking up at Gabriel's stricken face. No, this can't be. Destiny, let me explain. Your father killed my father. The words came out flat, emotionless. Yes. She stared at him, trying to process what this meant. You knew. You knew who I was when I got in your car that night. No, I didn't know then. I swear to you I didn't know. Then when? Gabriel ran his hands through his hair, looking more anguished than she'd ever seen him. The next day. When I went back to the hospital to check on you. I heard you tell your mother your full name, mentioned your father's death. I put it together. You've known for almost 2 years that your father killed mine, and you never told me. How could I tell you? How do you tell someone you love that your family destroyed theirs? Destiny stood up, clutching the photo album. Is that why you helped us? Guilt money? At first maybe. But Destiny, everything between us is real. My feelings for you, our relationship, our future together. Built on a lie. Built on love. My father's actions don't change how I feel about you. Your father's actions killed my father and left my mother and me struggling for 14 years. Gabriel looked like she had physically struck him. I know. And I've tried to make up for it the only way I knew how. By throwing money at us? By loving you. By taking care of you and your mother the way my father should have taken care of his victims' families. Destiny felt sick. Everything she thought she knew about her life, about Gabriel, about their love story, was built on a foundation of tragedy and lies. I need to think, she said, heading toward the door. Destiny, please don't leave like this. Let's talk about it. Talk about what, Gabriel? About how our entire relationship is based on your guilt over your father's crime. About how you've been managing me like some kind of charity case. That's not what this is. Isn't it? The job, the apartment, the house, the business partnership. Was any of it real? Or was it all just you trying to ease your conscience? Everything I've given you, you've earned. Everything I feel for you is real. Destiny paused at the door. I don't know what's real anymore. She left him standing in his office, surrounded by the scattered papers of their shared business and the old photos that had just shattered her world. Beverly was in the garden when Destiny found her, tending to her roses with the contentment of someone who had found peace in her golden years. Mom, we need to talk. Something in Destiny's voice made Beverly look up immediately. What's wrong? Gabriel's father is the man who killed Dad. The pruning shears fell from Beverly's hands. What did you say? Destiny told her everything, showing her the photos and newspaper clippings. Beverly listened in silence, her face growing paler with each revelation. All this time, Beverly finally said, he knew. He says he didn't know when we first met, but he's known for almost 2 years. And he never said anything. Nothing. They sat together on the garden bench, both trying to process this information. What are you going to do? Beverly asked. I don't know. How can I marry someone who's been lying to me about something this important? Has he been lying or has he been protecting you? What do you mean? Beverly was quiet for a long moment. Sweetheart, I've watched that man love you for 2 years. I've seen the way he looks at you, the way he cares for both of us. That's not guilt. That's love. But how can I trust him now? The question is, can you forgive him? Destiny looked out at the garden Gabriel had created for Beverly, the roses he'd planted because he knew they were her favorites. I don't know, she admitted. I don't know if I can get past this. As the sun set on what should have been one of the happiest days of their engagement, Destiny sat in the garden and wondered if their love story was ending before it had really begun. For 3 days, Destiny stayed at Rebecca's apartment, trying to sort through her emotions. Gabriel called constantly, sent flowers, left voicemail messages begging her to come home so they could talk. Beverly called too, but her message was different. Baby, I need you to come home. There's something you need to see. When Destiny arrived at the house, she found Beverly in the living room with a box of letters and documents spread across the coffee table. What's all this? Destiny asked. Sit down, sweetheart. Beverly handed her a letter written on Morrison Technologies' letterhead, dated 3 years ago. Dear Mrs. Johnson, Destiny read aloud. My name is Gabriel Morrison. You don't know me, but I know about your family's tragedy. My father, Jonathan Morrison, was responsible for your husband's death. I cannot undo the past, but I would like to help with your medical expenses and your daughter's education. Please accept this assistance not as charity, but as an attempt to provide the support my father should have given your family years ago. Destiny looked up. I don't understand. This is dated 3 years ago. Before Gabriel knew who you were, Beverly said. Before you ever got in his car. Beverly handed her another document. This is a bank statement showing monthly deposits to our account for the past 3 years. Deposits that paid for my heart medication, your community college classes, our rent when you couldn't work. He was helping us before we met? For 3 years, Gabriel Morrison has been quietly taking care of us. The surgery money, your job, this house. None of it was guilt over falling in love with you. It was responsibility for his father's actions. Destiny stared at the papers, trying to understand what this meant. But why didn't he tell me who he was that first night? Beverly handed her one more letter, this one handwritten and more recent. My dearest Destiny, she read. If you are reading this letter, it means you have discovered the truth about my father and your father. I wrote this months ago, knowing that someday I would have to tell you everything. I never meant for you to find out this way. The letter went on to explain Gabriel's 3-year search for their family, his decision to help them anonymously, and his shock at discovering that the woman who stumbled into his car was the daughter he'd been trying to take care of from a distance. I fell in love with you not because of who your father was, but because of who you are, the letter continued. Your strength, your kindness, your dedication to your mother. I fell in love with the woman who worked double shifts without complaining, who sacrificed her own dreams to take care of the person she loved most. I fell in love with you before I knew our families were connected by tragedy. Tears blurred Destiny's vision as she read the final paragraph. I know this changes everything between us. I know you may not be able to forgive me for keeping this secret. But please know that every moment we've shared has been real. Every, I love you, has been true. You are not a charity case or a guilt project. You are the love of my life, and losing you would be a greater tragedy than anything my family has already caused yours. He's been in his office for 3 days, Beverly said quietly. Rebecca says he hasn't eaten, hasn't slept. He thinks he's lost you forever. Maybe he has. Have you lost him, Destiny? Or have you found a man who spent 3 years trying to undo his father's damage, who fell in love with you for all the right reasons, and who's been taking care of us out of love, not guilt? Destiny looked at her mother. How can you forgive him? How can you forgive his family? Because hatred doesn't heal anything, baby. Because that boy has loved us like family for 2 years. Because his father's sins are not his sins. But he lied to me. He protected you from a painful truth until he could find the right way to tell you. That's not lying. That's love. Destiny spent the rest of the day reading through Gabriel's letters, looking at bank statements that showed years of anonymous support, trying to separate her hurt from her love. That evening she found Gabriel in his office, just as Beverly had described. Unshaven, exhausted, staring out the window at the city below. Gabriel. He turned, hope flickering in his tired eyes. Destiny. We need to talk. I'll tell you anything you want to know. Everything. She sat down across from his desk, in the same chair where she'd fallen in love with him over business meetings and shared dreams. Why didn't you tell me who you were that first night? Because you were scared and desperate, and learning that the person helping you was connected to your father's death would have made everything worse. Why didn't you tell me after we started dating? Gabriel's voice was barely a whisper. Because I was selfish. Because I loved you and I was afraid that knowing the truth would make you hate me. I could never hate you. Couldn't you? Destiny, my father killed yours. He left you and your mother struggling for 14 years. How could you not hate me for that? Because you're not your father. Because you've spent the last 3 years trying to fix what he broke. Because you've loved me and my mother like we were your own family. But you left. I left because I was hurt and confused and scared. But I came back because I love you. Because what we have is real, regardless of how it started. Gabriel stood up slowly, afraid to hope. Does this mean? It means I forgive you. It means I choose love over anger, our future over the past. Destiny? It means yes, I still want to marry you. I still want to build a life with you. I still want to be your partner in business and in life. Gabriel came around the desk and pulled her into his arms, holding her like he never wanted to let go. I love you, he whispered. I love you so much. I love you too. But Gabriel, no more secrets. If we're going to do this, if we're going to build a life together, everything has to be honest between us. Everything. I promise. 6 months later, they were married in the garden behind their Victorian house, surrounded by friends, family, and the small business owners whose dreams they'd helped make come true. Beverly walked Destiny down the aisle, both women radiant with joy. In his vows, Gabriel promised to love and protect Destiny for the rest of his life. In hers, Destiny promised to choose love over fear, hope over doubt, and to build a future that honored both their families. As they danced their first dance as husband and wife, Destiny marveled at the journey that had brought them together. A wrong car on a rainy night. A tragedy that had touched both their families. A love that had grown strong enough to overcome the past. What are you thinking about? Gabriel asked, spinning her gently. How getting lost sometimes leads you exactly where you need to be. Do you regret any of it? The pain, the confusion, finding out the truth? No. Because it brought us here. To this moment, to this life, to this love. I love you, Mrs. Morrison. I love you too, Mr. Morrison. As they swayed together under the stars, Destiny knew that their love story was just beginning. They would help more families, build more dreams, and create a legacy of kindness that would last long after they were gone. Sometimes the most beautiful love stories begin with the worst possible circumstances. Sometimes tragedy leads to triumph, loss leads to love, and getting in the wrong car leads you to exactly the right person. And sometimes love really does conquer all.